my butt. Suck my butt.
How would you children like to suck on my chocolate salty balls?
Oh, you mean like a chocolate candy?
No, I mean my balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That's right, welcome back to another.
Suck my butt. Suck my butt. Suck my butt. Suck my butt.
SMB, Suck My Balls, a South Park review. I'm your boy, and I'm not your toy, and I'm not looking. Sorry. And I'm not looking for a guy named Roy. That's Sharon. Sharon? But I digress. I am not alone. I'm your host in the heat. I can't be beat. I'm your guy who's high where the air is so very dry and hot. Your boy. And to this, the G. Now you see me here, right now, on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and go ahead and follow us at SouthParkPod everywhere. But South Park Pods with an S on Twitter, and I guess we're on Hive at SouthParkPod. Instagram, South Park Podcast. We got it there. But I am not alone. Ladies and gentlemen, making his return to the podcast since Make Love Not Warcraft, which technically we recorded at the end of August, so it's been 3 months. He's been doing school. He's been working hard. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see if I can remember how to hit this button.
Banana. Oh,
It's the Mac Daddy. It's the end of the season, the double OP.
You started Joe's intro.
No, that was actually the intro, the promo intro.
Oh, that wasn't it.
I told you I was going to mess up on purpose. It's kind of the bit. What up, buddy?
Hey there, guy. Catching on slow.
Welcome back to the podcast. How's everything been? Tell the viewers, the listeners.
Coding is stupid.
There you go. Coding is stupid, but you're persevering.
Coding. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like, no.
Are we talking Java, C++, Basic?
Ruby.
C sharp. Not the musical sound.
Oh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am back, not alone, as the doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, polyphonics, the trivia god, the 2022 Red Rock trivia god. He's not here with us right now, and that's okay. He's probably basking in his glory of Devotion Championship Wrestling because he is a trivia god. So shout out to Dirty JV.
Yeah. Joe.
Thinking about you, Joe. We're thinking
It's been a long
about
time
you.
since Joe's not been on episode. So.
Yeah, he would be gone. The episode that I got.
Yeah, the one you finally back at.
He
He's
bowed out.
There, fuck it. I don't need to be there. Fuck.
Yep, he bowed out. It was all the content too. He just did not want to confront himself in this episode.
You can hear his voice.
Fuck you, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is the guy who brings the pain in the digital marketing game. It's the guy who solicits those picks to get your clicks.
Ooh, that sounds naughty.
Absolutely, and there's a couple more things that rhyme with that I get.
He's the biggest dog.
I'm the master of your ones and zeros, and if you have a brand that needs to become a business, you let me know. Actually, don't let me know. I'm very busy right now, and I don't want to talk to any of you. Just kidding about that, fans. Please like and subscribe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back to review an episode for you. We are back to apologize. We need to apologize up front. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like that guy that just comes out and says it, but I'm going to be the guy that comes out and says it. I tried to get one of my many friends who are persons of color to join us on this podcast. Unfortunately, our schedules did not line up. And now it is 3 white guys reviewing an episode where the N-word is probably said about 40 to 50 times. I don't know how I'm going to edit this episode. This is going to be the worst edit for me in my entire life. However, I am excited to talk about this episode because it is funny. This is with apologies to Jesse Jackson. It is the first episode of season 11, the 154th overall episode of South Park. And it aired on March 7th, which was my birthday 2007.
Whoa, you got this as a gift?
19 years old. I had just turned that day.
Absolutely incredible.
It was
And also, isn't that one of the widest things to say, that there was a scheduling conflict between you and your black friend? Yeah, we just couldn't get our Google calendars aligned.
Hey, we got to stick to the protocol here, you know?
Absolutely. And that's why Joe's not here either.
That's what it is. Joe was like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
No, absolutely. Guys, we should stay out of this episode, and Joe just leaves.
Or he was still mad at me for being whammed. And as well as you are the viewer, the listener, you probably are mad that you got whammed. No, I probably only did it on the podcast. I probably didn't want to get hit for copyright on the YouTube, but Joe was whammed. Also, I'm sporting my Wakanda shirt, so we'll get this out of the way. I did see Black Panther 2. It was a decent movie. Wasn't as good as the first one. But, you know, I just thought it was apropos that I show some support, that I do not explicitly support the usage of this word in this negative fashion.
What Matt means is that he is apologizing on behalf of everything that's going to be said in this episode that sounds ignorant, and also that we're all big jars of mayonnaise.
Yes, that is accurate, Scoop.
Self-acknowledgement. Yeah, I give Wakanda Forever's at least a good 7 out of 10, but there was a lot of people talking in the movie theater, coincidentally enough. Okay.
Actually, no. When I went and saw it, it was really cool. I ended up sitting in the back of the theater. I apologize. I ended up sitting in the back of the theater, and I'm not just saying this, but there was a really good rambunctious, different people of all different having a good time. And I was enjoying it. I was like, yeah, all right. I sat in the right section, you know, because they make entertainment fun like that, you know, especially when that's something they're into. When, you know,
this conversation is already getting too
I'm just saying,
Caucasian.
think about it. If you want to think about it, white people are kind of lame when we're excited about stuff like that. You know, like we don't really show it unless like we're like, you know, like in front of a camera. Whereas like other cultures, they just are excited in general. Usually about any time, any place. I don't know.
Of course. Yeah. It's like how when like Shazam 2 is going to come out, all the white people are going to go because they love Shazam.
Well, you know, I don't know. Did you see Black Adam yet, Scoop?
No, I don't think I plan to.
For those of you that aren't watching this visually, Scoop literally looks like Black Adam. He's got the arms of Black Adam. He's got the glorious skin of Black Adam.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm working out. I'm not quite there yet.
He may not be Black Adam, but he's close enough.
Get a pillow if you want to put it between you. You know, get comfortable.
So
Scoop's trying to adjust right now.
I wanted to find out how many times the N-word was said in this episode, but I ended up finding the portrayal of white anxiety in South Park's With Apologies to Jesse Jackson by Nicole Binder, Regensburg, Germany. This is like a serious 25-page essay on white anxiety represented in this episode. This is fascinating.
I have white anxiety right now. I literally already made a movie theater joke. My white anxiety is like at 11 right now. Please, if anyone's listening to this in the future, it was one joke. Okay, please. I apologize. I sincerely apologize. I talk just as much in the movie theater, right? Right, Jesse Jackson.
We all talk a lot in the theater. Like, you know, all of us leave our phone on silenced every once in a while.
Yeah, and like white people have all the babies.
Apologies to Jesse Jackson. I just want to say that for the purpose of the episode, I'm also going to use the word ninja because I don't want to say the N word, obviously, because I
probably shouldn't do that.
We probably shouldn't even use.
Well, ninja's fine.
I don't think it's a good idea.
You know, what's up, my ninja? That's fine. We're not saying the bad word there. I would say if you are in the privacy of your own French group and you are allowed to say whatever word that you're allowed to say, that's your own personal relationship. But we are not advocating to say this word in public in any way.
No, this is only to make Randy look very, very stupid. We do not agree with this, approve of this. Honestly, at this point, we shouldn't even say ninja. Let's replace that word with Kanye, because that's essentially like the white version of this at this point.
Yeah. Kanye.
So anytime Randy mentions this, we will say the word ninja or Kanye.
So here's how this episode starts. After Randy Marsh, he appears on Wheel of Fortune.
Boy, does he.
In a manner to potentially win some prize money. he experiences, though, an event on national television. In this case, very seldomly, Wheel of Fortune was live. So in this one episode, Wheel of Fortune was live. And unfortunately, Randy drops the N-bomb when he's trying to figure out what the puzzle is. This is going to lead through his episode of looking for forgiveness, as well as trying to come to grips with, I guess, banning the word N-word guy. N-guy.
Yeah. It's like what every white person, when they do something racist and it gets into the news, thinks they deserve redemption. I mean, I walked out there. I know I called the cops on a little girl. She was selling bottled water. Come on.
There's copyright infringement. Everybody knows this.
Right? True. It's true. So we start this episode. We're gonna start the episode off here. Now, I gotta say, for the purposes of YouTube community standards and videos, I don't think I can air this video, or I don't think I can air the audio of him saying the N-word. When that point comes, I'm going to mute it, but know that Randy says it. So I just want to point that out. If you're like, whoa, what's going on? That's yeah. If I was a African American man with a YouTube channel, I probably could get away with it. But as a white guy, as white guys will get.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Have you seen KSI recently?
You think it's just community standards in general? Because I've heard
community standards.
I maybe not to get monetized then, because there has been some YouTubers where I've watched when they were doing some Pokemon, where a guy would pretend to be ghetto and he was a black guy and he would do it like with N-words, and it's funny.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, YouTube's for the gamers, right? So they should allow it. Gamers love that shit.
And now back to Wheel of Fortune.
I mean, yeah, do it.
Randy, so excited.
Randy, congratulations on making it all the way to the bonus round. Thanks, Pat. You've got
Randy also has the worst suit on I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's so white.
I have lots of friends watching back home.
So white with the blue jacket.
Everybody watching in South Park?
Jacket my dad would wear.
Well, let's see if you
Here's a
can't make
jacket
everyone
my dad
proud.
or your
The
grandfather
category
would.
is
Dude, my dad was total
People
jean
Annoy
shorts,
You.
long white socks, New
As
Balance.
always, we give you the letters
Was your dad John Cena?
SLNE.
All right, so they gave Randy some letters, ERS.
Okay, I'd like a B,
Now, who, by the way, doesn't guess A
an N,
off the bat as your
a
vowel?
G.
I'd always guess
and the
that.
vowel, and O,
There's
please.
an O, though.
Okay, well, looks like you're going to get a lot of help. Here.
Bangers? Bangers?
Audience, keep quiet, please.
Now, people who annoy you. Now, I love this part. Here comes the meme of the black guy with the camera.
Well,
well,
10 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
I
know it, but I don't think I
They should just cut the commercial right here. It's their fault, not Randy's, right?
The puzzle?
right.
Nick.
Okay. I'm not going to let him say it. I don't want to get in trouble. But yes, he says the word there.
But
It was the greatest pause I've ever seen. That was so perfectly timed.
Oh, naggers, of course. Naggers.
ooh,
Right. Can we cut to a
You cutting Randy off reminds me of that Hulk Hogan meme where he's just spray painting the N on the side of the truck. Cut that off at such a perfect point. And for those of you that missed it, you need to go back to this episode. Randy says the N-word in the greatest white person that fucked up way possible. Trey he must have said it 300 times because it's got to be the perfect white guy sounding out the N-word that I've ever heard in my life. He's so happy and excited about it and just free.
like, ooh, I finally get to say it.
Okay, I'm going to solve it. I'm going to do it.
If it's for money, that means I got my card.
What is it? What is it that MLB? I don't know, like some news anchor thing where it's like a bunch of white guys and one black guy. I was on Fox News. That's what it was. And the black guy's like, go ahead, say it. You know you want to say it. He's like, I can't say it. He's like, come on, you want to say it? Just go ahead and say it. It's just like, that's exactly how Randy felt in this scene here.
Mhm.
He was excited to see it. And yes, of course, in regards to my edit, my job is a master control operator. So that is our job to edit bad words. So if I wasn't able to do that, then ladies and gentlemen, you would not be able to enjoy this episode. It would get banned. But let's continue on here. As you saw what happened, they went to commercial break. Now, when they're driving home now, it's very quiet in the car, obviously, because, everyone's disappointed. Stan, Sharon, Shelly.
Shelly.
And
Yeah, you be charged.
You be charged.
Dude, that was amazing.
And following this, Randy's like, "Well, come on, what? I thought I was going to win $30,000." Like he's
As usual in the Marsh family, everyone's embarrassed but Randy. Randy has no idea what they're feeling. Why would you? We almost won money. It was a great trip.
Damn it, Stan.
we gave it our best.
I wish Jaden Smith was my son.
So the next day now at school, Stan is going to show up to school, and of course, everyone, as we mentioned, has seen this episode because it was nationally broadcasted. So Cartman's like, "You don't have to worry about us or apologize to us. You need to worry about Token." So now we see Stan entering the school grounds.
You like Token.
He is gonna want to kick your cracker teeth in. Is he? I don't know. I just need to explain things.
Stan tried to explain.
Hey, Token. Look, I don't know if you saw Wheel of Fortune last night, but
Yeah, I was watching with my whole family. And then we saw all the replays this morning on the news.
Listen, Token, my dad isn't a racist.
He, like, inflames
He's
it.
stupid, all right? He just blurted out the N-word, and it's no big deal, okay?
Well, actually, it is kind of a big deal, Stan.
Uh,
It may be a mistake, but you don't
it's
understand
no
how it
big
feels when that
deal.
word comes up. So don't say it isn't a big deal.
Oh, shit, here we go!
Race
It's
war!
on! Race war! Race war! Race war! Race war's on, everybody!
I like how everybody
It's
just looks
going
at
down.
him as
Shit is
he's
going
doing
down! Token, my
Just like,
dad wasn't
what?
trying to be offensive. Just forget about it.
That's easy for you to say, Stan.
Here, come on. Here we go. Yeah, but he didn't say it in anger or anything like that.
That doesn't mean I can just be fine.
Race war. Come on. Race war.
If you really think it's not a big deal, then you really are ignorant. That's all. I'm not fighting anybody.
Oh, here's Cartman being ignorant.
Token
He
forfeit.
calls this fight.
Whites win.
What?
Whites win.
Oh,
Race
man.
war's over, everybody.
I want to go back though. I forgot to play this one part. There was at the beginning of the scene with Cartman.
Dude, did your dad know that the show was being broadcast live? Dude, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I watched it on YouTube about 60 times. Can we just drop this?
It's no wonder why Cartman would do that.
Yeah, you can.
All right. So now, as you heard the race war, Cartman says, "Race war,
Race,
fight win."
Fight win.
So now
Finn Balor, Roman Reigns 2021.
Randy, now feeling down, he decides that he's got to apologize. And the only way he knows how to do so, apparently, is get in contact with the Reverend Jesse Jackson. It's such a white person thing to do.
It worked for everybody. It worked for Dog the Bounty Hunter. And look at him. He's completely non-racist now.
Is that the joke? Is that what it is? Like people
I
go to
think so.
Reverend Jesse Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all just
I don't know, but-
automatically assume, yeah, he's like the king of all black people. And what he says becomes constitutional law.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
I think it's just because he rallied the whole community.
Well, no, I'm not discounting his
Unified.
efforts. I'm more or less poking fun of the fact that white people think he's the king of black people.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely ignorant white celebrities that just think that if they call Jesse Jackson or Oprah,
Right.
that like they'll just be, those are like the Jesuses of black people. They would absolve you
Oprah.
of all of your racism sins.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Oprah Winfrey, Dave Chappelle,
Yeah.
Barack Obama. And if they say and Reverend Jesse Jackson, and if they say I'm not racist, I'm not racist.
I'm going to make a public statement and I'm going to say the words, I have a dream in it, so they know I'm not racist.
Oh, man.
So Randy goes to Reverend Jesse Jackson and he apologizes. Of course, Reverend Jesse Jackson asks a great question. He says the puzzle stated, "People who annoy you." And Randy goes, "Yeah, like anybody thought it was naggers." Everybody.
Just some of the greatest lines that a character has ever spoken.
Like,
Gotta love Randy.
I mean, let's be honest. Even if you did come to that conclusion, you don't say it out loud. You go, "No, they would. This is not the word on TV."
No, man.
Say,
For,
like,
for racists, that's the quiet part. You only say the word. You don't give them the reason as to why.
yeah, they naggers. Yes, those people.
Yeah, of course.
Those
They definitely annoy me.
So in South Park sense, rather to, I guess you'd say, apologize, they do what they do something in the literal sense, and they depict Randy kissing Reverend Jesse Jackson's ass. Right.
There's a certain way to apologize to the African American community. Barbecue Becky learned it. I mean, they've all learned it. There's one route to go, and it's through an asshole.
And he has to kiss it. Go on, kiss it. Apologize. So that's what Randy is going to have to do here. So we're going to
mooch the hole.
We're going to kiss it. We're going to apologize. We're going to show you.
To apologize deeply and sincerely. Word on Wheel of Fortune. And I want to assure you that I am not a racist, Reverend Jackson.
There he is.
The puzzle you were solving was people who annoy you. Well, like anybody else thought it was naggers. I mean, right?
That's a white guy response.
Understand African American.
Like anybody thought it was this.
Visit black museums, see black performers and artists. Oh, I will. I'm really down with African Americans.
That's
he just goes and watches
really
Bad
want
Boys.
To apologize? Yes, absolutely.
The Jeffersons. Me, the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to apologize, I will accept.
Oh,
thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you. Brian, get a picture of Mr. Marsh apologizing. Ready to go, sir.
There you go, there.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Kiss it.
Huh? Apologize. Kiss it.
Kiss it.
You want me to kiss your... That's right. Apologize.
Yeah.
I like how Jesse gives it like a little twerk and spin.
Right. I love the twerk.
I like how Randy does it. No hesitation after it. Okay.
No, he wants to get this done. He's apologetic.
Jackson accepts apology. The rich make more money. Voting hits all-time low. Big oil executive embezzles $100 million. And then random car bombings.
I never noticed this. Yeah, it's usually the most important news is when a white person apologizes. I mean, again, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Paula Deen did it, and she was saying the N-word for probably 50, 60 years.
I don't mean to get all close up here, but I want to read this. While Jesse Jackson was initially critical of the something way, the hard way, or the dirty way, the dried way, I don't know, or more
weirding way,
or the more moderate policies of Bill Clinton, he became a key ally in gaining African American support for Clinton, and eventually became a close advisor and friend of the Clinton family. Clinton.
Are you telling me Jesse Jackson is partially responsible for the blowjob that he got?
He's probably like, go ahead.
Clinton.
Yeah, you owe me one, bid.
Clinton awarded Jesse Jackson the Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest honor bestowed on civilians. His son, Jesse Jackson Jr., also emerged as a political figure, becoming a member of the United States House of Representatives. Wow, they give a whole background here on a full story on Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson makes them.
Jesse Jackson.
He's totally editing his own Wikipedia page. I have nothing against Jesse Jackson. I can't comment on him as a Caucasian male, but I've heard he's done a few questionable things.
Here we go. Here's a big oil executive embezzles money. Yesterday, some big oil executive embezzled $100 million. He's some fat cat that couldn't keep his grubby hands off the company's profit. He was caught lying naked in a pile of money in the middle of his office. His secretary, Barbara Conrad, proceeded to throw the remainder of the stolen money all over themselves. Later, he bought her a home and a $15, I don't know, something else.
That sounds like the story of the NWF.
It cuts off there. You can't read what it says, 15 something. It could say 15 million.
Yeah, we're reading off the South Park newspaper that just came on the freeze frame after Randy apologized to Jesse Jackson. And it has very less important news, embezzlement, millions of dollars, shit no one cares about. Balenciaga, whatever.
The rich make more money, which...
And the Randys get poorer.
That's crazy because not too long ago, the Wall Street Journal had this big little article about how a lot of CEOs across the board got a 20% increase in their wage.
Wait, I gotta read this story. This is the best story. The rich people make more money. Statistics are showing that once again, rich people are making money over hand. Or money hand over fist. Meanwhile, the poor are still poor. studies have shown that there have always been rich people and poor people. Economists are trying to find new ways for the rich people to keep being rich while the poor people could just forget about it. That is enough to say about the subject. That's how the headline ends.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
South Park has its predictions on just about as tight as The Simpsons do. They know everything.
That's because the Simpsons have been around for fucking ever.
That's right. That is right.
I think actually they stopped after about season 7 or 8. I haven't heard of anything since then.
All right. So let's talk about plot B. Story number 2 in this episode. So while story A, as we've already introduced, is going on with Randy saying the N-word, story B revolves around Cartman.
Yes.
And what happens in this case is I guess the politically correct term is a shorter person, a dwarf,
little person,
someone who is small in stature. For the purposes of this episode, Cartman does call him a midget. So that's how what's going to be shows up. He shows up, this smaller individual, to give a speech on, his life and the power of words and blah blah blah. Trying to be a Tony Robbins of his.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Anyone that went to a public school, especially an elementary school that had a gymnasium with a stage on it, y'all remember the same kind of acts coming through. You'd have an assembly and it'd be either like a self-sponsored advertisement for fucking McDonald's, or it would be like someone rolling up in a wheelchair. Everyone's cracking jokes because we're literally 6 and this person is wheeling around going, there's other kinds of people besides able bodies.
I will say this. I will give credit to one. When I was I must have been the 2nd or 3rd grade. Okay. And I had this guy come from the Air Force and he gave a speech on like just joining the Air Force and wanting to be a pilot his whole life and getting to fly planes and stuff like that.
Secret recruitment propaganda.
Oh, well, anyway, the reason why I say one thing that stuck out to me that he had said to me that actually carried all the way with me through high school, and I didn't do it. But he said, I don't get high on drugs. I get high on life. And I was like, oh, that's a really good statement. And
a very unique saying. Put that on a t-shirt, buddy.
Right. So
right. There you go.
So like at that point, I was like, I just carried that all the way through high school and I didn't smoke weed. And then I got to college and it all went out the window.
So what you're saying is this guy came to your school and made your high school experience really, really boring. Hey, my guy taught me a lot about people that are disabled and what to refer them to. And I learned about as much from that as I did the guy that pretended that he went down an elevator. There is no elevator. It's crazy.
I hung out with the thespians and the band gigs, wasn't completely boring. They were weird.
Theater kids always are.
Exactly. So now the little person, he shows up. So let's jump to this scene here as Cartman cannot hold in his laughter. He's just so amused by this smaller individual showing up to give a speech.
He has 2 PhDs and has published 6 books. Please welcome Jason.
It's crazy. Here he comes.
Good morning, students. How are we all feeling today? I would like to share with you all my... No, dude, no fucking way. Dude. That words are like bullets.
There he goes.
I like bullets. Stop.
Eric, be quiet.
No, it's okay. We'll run out of steam.
There's a woman here that looks like she's like an assistant of the little person, and she is mortified right now.
I gotta give
poor lady.
I gotta give Trey props here. This is like a good 60 seconds of him doing Cartman's laugh. That can't be easy.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is Mel Blanc level.
That's a lot. All right,
so Trey just put up a picture of Mr. Nelson and just legitimately laughed at it.
So here's what happens after. Now, Randy, trying to redeem himself, starts to go around to different black culture comedy clubs, poetry slams, and as he's at the first one, he's at the Laugh Factory, and as he's just trying to take in some comedy now, the Coyote Brown comedian notices him in the audience, and he says, "Hey, we got a celebrity in the house. We got Word Guy here. Word Guy. Everybody say hi, Word Guy." And the whole audience goes, "Hi."
Hey there, Kanye guy.
Hey there, Kanye guy.
Hey there, Kanye.
Hey there, Kanye. So, unfortunately for Randy, he all of a sudden starts to feel like a black guy, to be quite honest, right? It's almost kind of ironic in the sense where he uses the word, so now everybody starts treating him how they mistreat African Americans in today's society in certain parts of the United States. I'm not going to say everywhere, but certain parts. And I can't speak to the world, obviously, because I'm
just things American. That they have to deal with that we don't. Like every single day. Now it is happening to Randy, and then we'll see, Matt, that it happens to just more than Randy. Randy has a group.
It's a group. Well,
a collective.
Now, of course, these individuals brought it upon themselves versus the irony, the joke of it, right? Versus a black person that can't control it. That's just they were born that way. It's not really their fault, so I don't know why people.
As Lady Gaga taught us, Matt, it's okay to be black.
I don't know why.
That's what that was.
Stupid. Anyway, that being said, Randy feels like he's isolated, so he goes to a poetry, poetry slam, and he does another poetry reading. I can't show you guys these clips, unfortunately, because of the amount of times they say the N-word in this.
Yeah. And it's especially the comedy club one.
Especially the comedy one and the poetry one where he says it, call me N-word guy, stop.
Oh my God, that's right.
Like he says it like 15, 20 times in that part of the episode.
Perfect satire of the white person understanding of what they did wrong. They're just going to keep plowing through that word. It's like we had in Louisville years ago, you might have seen this viral clip. We had a teacher who kept saying the N-word in class. He was like some white guy, and he got almost fired. I mean, he eventually did, but when he was getting investigated for this, our local news station went out to interview him, and you might have seen this clip. It went viral. He holds up signs noting the difference between versions of the N-word. He keeps saying it in the interview, and this is what perfectly encapsulates what Randy is doing right now, is that he just keeps going and going, and it's a little bit like his son. He just doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it.
You're right there. That is plot point number 3. Is there is a side story going on with Stan and Tolkien where Stan is like trying to, I guess, give his father some sort of pass here in saying the word. You know what I mean? Trying to like advocate for him that he's ignorant and he doesn't understand and he shouldn't be mad. And Tolkien's going throughout the whole episode trying to say, no, dude, you don't understand what it's like to be me and have that word heard or have it called against someone who's a person of my color. So therefore, because you never understand, you can't say you understand. That's the message it's going to end up being delivered. But it takes Stan the whole episode to get that through different ways. Of course, every time it happens, Cartman, raise bar. Anyway.
He's trying to instigate. He's like helter skelter. It's ridiculous. Cartman, please just go to jail.
So now this smaller gentleman decides he wants to have one-on-one time with Eric. And Mr. Mackey and Principal Victoria, oh, don't you know? I don't know if that's such a good idea for you to hang out with Eric Urban. Okay, probably shouldn't do that. Okay. But
the N-word's bad.
But words are like bullets. Words are like bullets.
I like bullets.
Anyway, so here's what happens when Cartman sees him and continues to laugh and gets him to snap. He trips him up. He gets him. I enjoyed it here. It's one of my favorite scenes. Of course, this and the fight scene is pretty good.
You don't understand. You see, words are like bullets.
Words
and if
are
you
like
take
bullets.
away the gunpowder...
we
get it. We get it. Okay.
Very well, Mr. Nelson.
He's like, I don't want to hear this shit again.
Go ahead and send in Eric Cartman.
It's the best walk cycle, too. You just no hesitation immediately.
Eric,
Doesn't
Mr.
even
Nielsen
have
is
to look.
concerned about how you
More than-
respond to little people.
Oh, did I hurt its little feelings? Now, you think you have the power to make me insecure, but your words are actually
standing up for
We
himself.
could get like 8 of these. We could dress them all up like little beavers, right? And then put them in a pond and see if they build a dam.
Well,
that's pretty
no
funny.
matter what you say,
Where did that
I'm still
come
standing. Barely. No matter how you act, I
That'd
can
be funny
rise
if they
above
would have
it.
gotten a chuckle out of the
Rise
principal.
above it.
Oh my God.
Get it?
If
Shut
Mr.
your
Mackey would have
fucking
broken her or
mouth.
something.
Mr. Nelson!
That would have been amazing.
So Mr. Nelson, he freaks out.
He didn't get to me.
Yeah.
I was just joking.
Wait, here goes the rosy cheek line.
Look how its face gets all red. He's like a little strawberry.
And Mr. Nelson just makes a noise of derision.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we jump back over to Randy here. And Randy, like I said, he gave his poetry slam and whatnot. Well, then he's going to donate some money or he's going to start a charity, whatever it is. And as he does it, he basically says, you don't know how hard it is to be called this.
It's one of the best
To a
speeches
crowd
ever.
full of African Americans. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to show this clip.
Nice,
It is
nice.
my hope that this foundation will prove my commitment to the education of African American students and erase once and for all my identity as the nigger guy.
Just in front of a
Really?
room full of black people.
You really don't know how hard it is to be constantly reminded of something lame that happened in your past.
Just want one more. I just want this next part.
I mean, I just want to move on from what happened on Wheel of Fortune, you know? And when people call me nigger guy, they're bringing up a painful chapter of my history and all the negativity that went along with it. You can't imagine how that feels.
This part right here.
Is this nigga guy serious?
Anyway, here's to
Just that point. I feel like and we followed the guidelines according to this. We made sure there was enough words between him saying it again and again. I feel like so. If not, I guess we'll find out. That being said, we're not going to repeat it, but it was funny for the black guy to just call him that. And Randy started a nonprofit. Now Randy's going to end up after this on the wrong side of town.
You're on the wrong side of town.
Wrong side of town.
The ignorant folk around here, as Eddie's got like a Confederate flag on his vest, and Skeeter's got like a American flag on his white shirt, holding the gun. The guy in the center, and then the guy and I don't know what that guy. His name is. He's just an idiot. You tell him, Skeeter.
You get him, Scooter. He's like the guy from Deliverance. Yeah, get him. Yeah. Are like woke rednecks a thing now? Is that like a whole cultural of people?
You tell us. You're in the South.
Let's see. Kentucky woke rednecks. Nah.
No. Well, there you have it.
I haven't seen one yet.
How about woke rednecks in Texas, Scoop?
All I know is that one of the blackest dudes that has the blackest card told me that if as a white person, if you watch Pootie Tang, you got some cred. So,
if you watch
because the
Pootie
show
Tang-
is hot too.
I mean, I've seen Pootie Tang a few times. That's directed by a white guy, though.
I know.
But that was good. Way to pull that out. So here's what happens. These 3 rednecks show up, woke rednecks, as you call them, Dane. And they are upset at Randy being the N-word guy and saying, and we don't take kindly to social justice and ignorance around here. Well, all of a sudden, all of a sudden, a bunch of N-word guys show up. The guy from Seinfeld plays Kramer. I don't know so much
Jerry
about
Seinfeld.
No, not Jerry Seinfeld. The guy who plays Kramer, Cosmo Kramer.
Oh, that's
Michael
right.
Richards.
He did get in trouble for that.
He
didn't
said
he?
the
That's
Laugh
why.
Factory because he was doing a
That's
bit.
right. That's right.
Bunch of other
Yeah, he said a few things. My
Yeah,
goodness.
a politician, a journalist, I guess, some other people. They show up to defend Randy. They tell him to
Bend him to the death.
They tell him to come with me. You come with me if you want to live.
You tell him, Scoop. You tell him.
You tell him, Scoop. You tell him. Meanwhile, while back at the school now, the Mr. Nelson is going to get the children to call Cartman a fat ass the moment he walks into the gym.
Who hasn't
Walks
been
through
there?
that door. I want you all at the same time to yell, "Hello, fatso!"
Oh, fatso, sorry.
I don't think that's a very good idea, sir.
Frank, the whole one. I think it's a good idea,
Lesson.
dude.
You see,
'Cause he's the one that
words are
knows.
like bullets. All right, here he comes.
Frank knows. You don't fuck with Cartman.
You don't fuck with
Craig
Cartman.
knows.
Oh, no.
Fatso.
These kids are lucky they weren't murdered.
You think that's fucking
He doesn't
funny?
want to eat his own
Jonathan, you put
parents.
everybody up to this?
Yeah,
I
too
bet
many
you
parents
did. What
cooking
the
to
hell is
chill.
going on? Now you know how it feels.
No hesitation
You
yet
better
again.
Shut up, or I'm gonna kick your ass. All right. Who is the freaking genius who dressed it up in little suspenders? Clyde, was that you?
Doesn't even see him as a person. He sees him as a thing, an object, someone that just Clyde would use as a prank.
Did you judge it?
He's just a source of Cartman's amusement, and that's it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Randy is explained to by all those N-word guys now back at their base that they are basically banding together, right? They're tired of being labeled the N-word guy. And Randy's at first like, I'm not going to join you. I'm not one of you. I'm not like you. He's like, face it, Randy, you are one of us.
Yeah.
Wait. I want to play the audio of it here.
It's way worse than what I did. You really think that matters? You really think all those people out there see a difference? Oh, they might see your racial slur was more accidental. They might even laugh about it. But at the end of the day, all you are to them is just another.
Anyway, I don't want to play it again. All
You are quick on the knob, man.
That's another damn N-word guy.
I'm surprised you ain't just replacing it with dolphin noises at this point.
Anyway, and then Randy.
You don't like that, do you?
Oh.
No. Andy, I want you to join us.
So they wanted to join us, as he mentioned, and Randy's at first hesitant, but he is going to join them, okay? Because they have an idea, and that idea is to go to Washington, D.C. and try and get the word banned. But before we get there, let's go a little bit here to Stan and Tolkien, as we haven't really showed too much of them. But let's go to them argue on the street right before the big fight. And what fight are we talking about? Well, Cartman and the midget are going to fight, as Butters puts it.
You have no reason to still be mad.
I have every reason to be mad. You just don't get it.
I'm not responsible for what my dad did.
No, but you can't just pretend it never happened either.
What the hell do you want from me?
Nothing.
Then stop being mad.
Butters.
No.
Here he
Fellas,
comes.
come quick. Cartman's gonna fight the midget.
Did you just stop immediately? You mean like any kid?
He runs into Tom's
Let's go check it out.
rhinoplasty.
Okay, this is great. This is the best part of the episode.
Cartman takes his shirt off.
Dude, are you sure you
No.
want to do this? Apparently this guy has a black belt in karate. It's a midget, dude. Students, I'm going to beat the crap out of this kid.
It's a midget, dude.
No, dude. It's
One of the
hip-hop. That
second
isn't
greatest
fair. I
lines
love
of
you,
this episode.
Gotta turn us down for a little bit because I don't want to be hit for copyright for this song. But I just good.
They're going at it.
Right,
They are going at it.
I just want to point out.
Cartman's kicking some ass.
Right.
Carmen's MMAing right now. He's literally tossing this guy around the octagon. He's got him in a headlock. He's got him bent down.
Yeah, he was laughing and he was giggling. And
It's surprising. Cartman went from this to having his ass absolutely murdered by Wendy Testaberger in a couple of seasons.
That's a good point.
Well, you know, that's because Wendy Testaberger is probably
a badass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's like the Ronda Rousey of that school for sure.
I like it. I like it.
So after that, then we cut over to DC and Randy is giving his pitch to all of the white Supreme Court gentlemen that
Got to change the law.
That we've got to change the law. And he basically says to them, look, if it could happen to me, it could happen to any of you. And all the white guys are like, wait, are you saying that we could be called N-word guys? I'm not an N-word guy. And the black guy goes, man, you're the most N-word guy in Washington.
Scoop already mentioned white anxiety, and this whole scene is just all about that. It's just like a series of 80-year-old Mark Zuckerbergs shaking in their diapers.
Yep, exactly. This is like the best example.
Yep. So Randy is explaining, as I mentioned, he explained to the Supreme Court there, and they all conclude after a vote that obviously them all being white guys, they don't want to get labeled that. There was a brief moment there where the woke rednecks said, dang it, N-word God's getting all political now. So after pointing and look, as you can see, their shocked expressions are like, wait a minute, I don't want to be called that. You said I could be called that? And then blah, blah, blah. I'm not. And then here comes a black guy. He's going to say, you're the most N-word guy in Washington.
It starts to get passed around these white guys like a virus.
Right.
They're all opposed to banning the word N-word.
Right. They all oppose. And the black guy,
Nay.
the eyes have it. And then that's it. It's officially announced. The word has been banned. It has the first ever. It's the first ever word in American history to.
Randy proves a point. It's like America has a bunch of white people that makes the decisions for all of the non-white people, and that's fine. That's fine, Matt.
The best is like they're like, from now on, if you're gonna say the word N-word guy, you have to say N-word followed by 6 more words, then the word guy. And then of course the news anchor says it, and then he's like, oh, I said it, and he gets arrested.
Absolutely.
Oh,
canceled.
I said it.
All right, let's go here to the conclusion of the fight between Cartman and this short person here, as it's a pretty good scene. And also I want to point something out here after we watch this scene. Just I think it's a point of continuity between characters.
Got to see who gets this belt.
Okay, you win.
Beating the shit out of
Punching him. Yeah, he's just punching him.
Carol Ann, don't go into the light. Carol Ann, don't go into the light. There. Now you all see that I am not limited by my size. I have proven my point. My work here is done.
What was that?
What point was that? That you can get your ass beat by a kid with a black belt?
Dan, what was
I
the
don't
point?
I don't get it either.
You can get embarrassed in like 9 different
That's it.
outfits.
I don't
Mr.
get
Nelson, please.
Huh? Don't you see, Kyle? I don't get it. Token, I get it now.
I don't get
I
it.
don't get it.
Here's the full circle.
I've been trying to say that I understand how you feel, but I'll never understand. I'll never really get how it feels for a black person to have somebody use the N-word.
There you go.
I don't get it.
Now you
Now
get
you get it, Stan.
Yeah, I totally don't get it.
Thanks, dude.
See, that's all you gotta do. Just show some.
Absolutely.
Right.
As a person that grew up in the South, this taught me a lot.
Yep.
I mean, I grew up in California, and I've talked about this on the podcast. My mom's best friend was like a black, gay, Jewish man. He was a triple fecta. Okay.
Oh
So,
my
like,
God. He's like the Triforce of getting fucked with.
he was the Triforce, but you know what? He was like the Robin Hood of food stamps because he somehow figured out a scam, and his home was full of food, and then he give it away to people. Just gave it away for free.
That's amazing. This
Yeah.
this guy was everything Kanye West hates.
He was everything.
He was a lover. He was a giver.
Too soon.
He was Jewish.
Before we go to the sponsor bump here, I want to just point out as well, I really like in this scene, there's the continuity of the fact that Craig is in Cartman's corner, just like Pad was in Craig's corner versus tweaking Craig. Tweaking it, Craig.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's almost this
Yeah.
unspoken kinship between Craig and Cartman. Yeah, Cartman and son.
Because Craig doesn't want to. He knows. He knows what Cartman is capable of, and he
Yeah. Cartman's sitting there going like, cut me.
It's like
Slices him right open, sends him right out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back on the other side after a word from our sponsors. Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed, and you'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review. Once again, shout out to our sponsors. They're provided by Spreaker. If you like the sponsors, go ahead and say hi. Otherwise, don't say hi. Don't
fucking say shit.
Do whatever you want to do. All right? Scoop.
Suck my balls.
Suck my balls. Would you like to read some trivia today? Is that possible? Or is that too much for you?
Damn, it might be too much for me.
Might be too much for you?
Fuck. Yeah. That's a lot to ask for me to read some words.
All right. Let's go ahead and we'll zoom in this here.
The episode was filmed in 4:3, and the remastered version was cropped to 16:9.
That's right.
The idea behind this episode comes from Trey and Matt noticing the taboo surrounding the N racial slur, particularly after Seinfeld, after Michael Richards infamously used the racial slur and a much more at the Laugh Factory. The slur used 42 times in the episode, 3 times by itself and 39 times as the N guy.
That's where the real source of it comes from. 42 times too. That's a very interesting number.
40, 70. So about 80 something times. And the
my God.
In the audio kind of like a Scarface and fuck.
Yes, say hello to my little friend. Fuck.
In the audio mini commentary, they explained that they were expressing that if roles were reversed and there were such a slur aimed at white people, they would respond as in the episode by making it illegal. Randy's sense of Randy's sense of the trauma being called N guy is meant to be a role reversal, as represented by his being the victim of heckling at the Laugh Factory. So maybe that's why they had to laugh, the fake laugh place, to make fun of Michael Richards. Wow, there's a little, man, you gotta love South Park. The word has been used in very few South Park episodes, previously being used in the death of Camp Tolerance and a ton of offensive terms in the Museum of Tolerance. Hold on there.
I'm gonna go yin.
The Museum of Tolerance, Hell on Earth, 2006, by rapper Biggie Smalls, and later used in Hollywood special by a white man claiming to be of black descent.
We should clarify, though, in Hell on Earth 2006, they didn't use a hard R. It was a GA, and it was Biggie Smalls saying to Butters, and then Butters saying, well, damn, man, I'll try to get you there. So that was, I think there was a different connotation of the to the but we don't get to decide that. Again, that is within your own groups. It's all bad. Don't say it. It's all bad.
Exactly. I've heard from certain people that Butters is invited to the cookout.
If you're invited to the cookout, people at the cookout are cool with you saying it. That's in your own privacy. So
I've been invited to the cookout.
Yes.
Growing up, all my friends
individually
were black.
decide.
Yeah, it was cool, man. All my friends growing up were black, so like I understand all of everything that black people have, gone through. So because
same here, I've listened to at least 2 Meek Mill albums have been on my playlist recently. So we're all experts here, my guy. Come on, Scoop.
If you don't talk to me about Nipsey Hussle, then we can't be friends.
Just break it off right there.
There are a number of small inaccuracies with the real-life Wheel of Fortune game show. As the first few letters are being revealed in the bonus round, the letter space is turned blue, and then the letter appears, but when the letter A is revealed, the space is flipped, which is the old format of the puzzle board in the 80s. Man, they must have watched Wheel of Fortune or something as kids, because that kind of detail. Man. In real life, Wheel of Fortune is taped during In real life, Wheel of Fortune is taped during the day, then aired at night, not shown live.
However, during COVID, as we saw, they did do some live shows, and since they do big Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy specials and stuff like that now to try and get ratings. Anyway, but go ahead. You're right. There mostly is tape delay.
Randy would have received an N along with the R, L, E, T, and S.
That basically spells it right there.
The word that came to mind was not the right word. Randy would not be required to announce that he would like to solve the puzzle in the bonus round. List of errors on the wheel shown in the title card. Whoever went through this to find the errors, man.
It's like an 80-year-old woman that loves Wheel of Fortune. It's like, this episode was wrong.
Hold on. You got the Wheel of Fortune wrong there, Sonny. The 5,000 wedge is colored green instead of silver. Wow. Oh, man. The lose a turn wedge is colored yellow instead of white. Jesus. All wedges valued at 250 below no longer exist. Bruh. A spin wedge can be found on the wheel. A similar wedge known as free spin had retired in 1980. Fuck off! And at the time of the episode airing, this feature only exists as man, fuck you. Trey Parker played Dr. David Nielsen by inhaling helium.
Are you serious? Oh, that makes so much more. They couldn't even pitch shift it high enough.
Fuck yeah. In this episode, Cartman is able to beat up Dr. Nelson, a black belt in karate, like I said, which is very unusual for him as because he's a fucking midget, dude.
He has a black belt in karate. He's a midget, dude.
He's a midget, dude.
Cartman, for fuck's sake.
As he's often shown being physically vested in fights with other children. In episodes preceding and after this episode.
He's a midget, dude. Here's some references to pop culture. This episode parodies the aftermath of an incident at the Laugh Factory. As we mentioned in 2006, Michael Richards shouted racial marks deemed to have hatred behind an audience members as opposed to ironic. Though perhaps still controversial response to their heckling. He later apologized to civil rights activist Al Sharpton. And Jesse Jackson. I am so sorry.
Yeah, he just said that they were in the heat of the moment while he was standing there looking at black people going, 200 years ago, you would have been upside down with a fork in your... I was like, bro, it's like not even 200 years ago. Emmett Till was like in the fucking 30s. Shut the fuck up, bro. It's 50s.
It's almost even been 100.
The comedy club that Randy goes to is called Laugh Factory. That's the same place where Michael Richards said his infamous racial slur, except here it is Randy being heckled with a perceived slur. The truck the rednecks are driving is a cheapie, which is a parody of Chevy. Cartman fights Dr. Nelson. The song is Down with the Sickness by American heavy metal band Disturbed. Cartman pinned Dr.
Wait, that's Disturbed? I always get them mixed up with the other band that does the other Disturbed sounding songs. Was it Let the Bodies Hit the Floor? That's not Disturbed.
I was thinking
Corn?
Not Corn. What's the other one? Not is it Papa Roach, maybe?
Yeah, I mean Papa Roach basically stole that sound too, so
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cartman pinned Dr. Nelson to the ground. He made him say, Carol Ann, don't go into light. Due to his voice. Due to his voice sounding similar to former actress Zelda Rubinstein, who played the part of diminutive psychic in the film Poltergeist.
And the principal in Kindergarten Cop, R.I.P., bruh.
The line was actually spoken. Right. The line was actually spoken by the character Diane Freeling, who was the mother of Carol Ann, while she attempted to rescue her from the evil spirits inside the portal.
Mm-hmm.
The scene when Michael Richards is scolding Randy about being another damn N-word guy is a reference to the scene from the movie Glory. To the scene where the rednecks want to shoot Randy is a very loose allusion to the novel Kill a Mockingbird, where Atticus protects Tom Robinson from being killed by the racist white people. Dr. Nelson.
Right?
Dr. Nelson is drawn to look just like the famous infomercial twin brothers Greg Rice and the late John Rice, who are also little people.
Fuck out of here. What? Yep. Those are the people. What? Hello? Yep.
Dr. Nelson is drawn to look just like the famous infomercial twin brothers Greg and John Rice, the late.
Oh, I got to see them now. Right. I have to see this.
I'm to Google.
The premise of the episode mess up is similar to one that occurred on an actual episode of Wheel of Fortune. Obviously, I don't know who was the N-word guy. Cartman made a reference to the popular video sharing site YouTube, saying he's watched Randy blunder several times on it. And it's interesting because YouTube is just getting started at that point as far as popularity, I'd say. Cartman made a reference to the popular video sharing. In the background during Randy's spoken word performance at Vizio's Coffee House, you can see the poster labeled Thompson of journalist Hunter S. Thompson. Of course, Thompson is celebrated for his innovation of gonzo journalism and perhaps best known for his novel Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, a savage journey to the heart of the American dream.
Wait a minute.
He's from my city.
Isn't
Shout out Louisville.
A porn thing?
I don't know.
Is gonzo a porn thing?
Gonzo porn or some shit? I don't know.
I hope so.
I know that I thought it would Gonzo was from the Muppets, right? Or is it the
Isn't Gonzo bear or some shit?
I thought Gonzo was on the Muppets with like the bear with the not the bear. I thought it was the one with the long nose. It was blue or something.
Pinocchio, of course.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's
no,
right.
like a blue puppet or something. Last thing here, pop culture. One of the N-word guys that saves Randy from the rednecks is Mark Furman, an author and former LAPD detective who was accused of perjury during the O.J. Simpson murder trial in 1995. While being cross-examined by defense attorneys, he claimed that he had not used the N-word 10 years prior to that trial. However, witnesses' testimony and taped interviews later revealed that he had used it multiple times until the 1980s, leading him to be labeled as a racist and several damaging the prosecution's credibility with the jury.
God,
That lawyer was too good. He literally, they got the witness statement from the police chief, and he immediately went, "This does not make sense. This guy's a racist. That does not make sense."
I'm talking about you back in the court. Did any of this make sense?
It did not make sense.
Last thing here, some continuity for your show. In Jesse Jackson's office, there is a picture of him and other celebrities that were in Here Comes the Neighborhood. If you'll recall, Chef was sued, or he was trying to sue for the rights for his song Stinky Britches, including Will Smith.
Stinky Britches.
Right? Including Will Smith, Snoop Dogg, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Mamba, along with the woman who appears to be Whoopi Goldberg. Jada Pinkett Smith from the previously mentioned episode can be seen in the audience of Randy is announcing the Randy Marsh African American Scholarship Foundation.
Oh, that's right. She is in the audience. I think they make her the lightest person there.
One of the rednecks who chased Randy was named Skeeter, as we mentioned, who was also the redneck's name in the sexual harassment. And
now Skeeter.
He
ain't hurt nobody.
Now Skeeter.
And then finally, the N word itself is also used in the episodes Crazy Cripples, as Scoop mentioned, Death Camp Tolerance, Hell on 2006, and it was also in the video game South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Literally less times than is in a single Quentin Tarantino movie. So I don't want to hear nothing about South Park. Nothing.
I just started Fractured Butthole.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your full recap, your trivia, your pop culture, your references to continuity. Scoop, what'd you like about this episode?
I mean, there's a lot to like about this episode. There's not much to not like. Some of the favorite parts. Fuck. What was the best line? Fuck, what did Randy say? Damn it. Or, well, the fight between Cartman and the midget. That whole story. He's a midget, dude.
That's a great scene. What did you think of Randy's initial appearance, the beginning episode on Wheel of Fortune? Did you find that comical? I mean, there's that one meme, right? That's used pretty much by everybody on every social media these days.
Oh yeah. Black guy peeking out from side of camera.png.
Yeah, there you go. That's the PNG.
The best thing about this episode, or what I love about it, is they made white people so stereotypically white, and just the whole white anxiety thing you can feel throughout the whole entire episode, especially at the one scene where they're sitting in the courthouse. And it's true, if there was a slur against white people, I'm pretty sure white people would figure out a way to get it, illegalized, especially a bunch of Karens or some shit like that. That whole, participation error, it is. I also really don't like that they didn't kill Kenny or find some way to add the other kids, or I love Stan in this episode because, just the whole reaction to his, in the thing with Tolkien. Do we do at this? Is he Tolkien now?
We have to say Tolkien.
We have
Tolkien always.
You have to say it's because if we didn't, we're the assholes.
true, I guess, but we haven't gotten there yet.
It doesn't matter. It's been the creed.
It was still Tolkien, you know. It was still Tolkien.
Man, we've been gaslit.
We've been gaslit the whole time.
Fucking professionally by these fucking assholes. But yeah, that's
I blame Stan.
episode.
Anything you didn't like? You said you didn't like that Kenny didn't appear. Anything else?
Yeah, and I mean, it would have been fun to have Kenny. I mean, I guess that's nothing to really bitch about, but no, not really.
Okay.
This is a top 75 episode.
Okay, Dane, what did you think about this episode?
I really like this episode. I think it's a great season starter. Usually the South Park season starters are really, really aggressive. And this one was just another true to form style episode to start off the season. And this season has a lot of bangers. My favorite part, Matt, is literally, I think since we've reached 25, 26, all these specials, I love that this is a part of Stan's storyline of him basically derandifying himself, deracifying himself. Because let's face it, Stan finds out very later on, because of his friend Tolkien, that he's a massive racist, that he's probably just a fool like his father is. So I think this is a great part of that character arc, because later on, Stan realizes that Token is not named Token. That would be stupid and awful. And it's all Stan's fault. And it's your fault, too, if you thought that. If you were ever a South Park fan and you thought it was Token, it's your fault. It's not Trey's. He always said that. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think that's the best part about this, is that it leads into the rest of Stan's
we go back and
going
watch
backwards from racism.
We had this discussion before. If you go back and watch the original episodes, they're saying Token. But then later on they change to the Tolkien because it's the joke and the rip on us. It's 2020.
And then they went back and changed all the subtitles. So when you turn on HBO Max subtitles, it's
those
dicks.
They changed the subtitles, but they still say
they did the work to uncancel and de-cancel themselves. They have a wall of you can't cancel us now, because literally they made the Chinese guy a white guy, so you can't harp on his fucking accent. I mean, they're smarter than the Simpsons there. Apu should have just taken off a mask and he was Matt Groening the whole time.
But
anything you didn't like about this episode, Mr. Becker? Mr. Becker.
Honestly, I think there's not a lot to dislike about this episode. I think the only thing that I could nitpick is there's just not enough Jesse Jackson. We needed him to come back and really ruin things, because that's what Jesse Jackson does best, is that he convinces everybody that if you apologize to him, you apologize to all black people. And then he just goes and trashes you in the news anyway. Dog the Bounty Hunter went through it. Paula Deen knows what it's all about. I mean, she sent cookies to Jesse Jackson. I guarantee you he ate every single one and still wrote an article on her stupid ass. So that would be my nitpicky part, is that we see Jesse Jackson once, but he really should. He should be like the Tyler Perry of this episode, which is not a racist statement, okay?
Oh, Lord.
I'm just comparing to another episode. But he should have been the Tyler Perry of this episode. He should have just kept popping up and popping up and popping up. And then maybe when they pass the law, he just like fades away, like Back to the Future, just like disappears.
All right. I enjoyed this episode as well. I think the Cartman storyline is probably my favorite part of the episode, just his interactions with the shorter person and their physical. And then, of course, their physical altercation was hilarious. Of course, Randy is funny at the top of the episode with him blurting out the N-word, and then his subsequent ignorance in going to different comedy clubs and different cultural events and basically playing the victim game. Plays that card. When he's not
should have watched Pootie Tang.
When he's
should have watched Pootie Tang.
Should have watched Pootie Tang as Scoop to realize. So I guess that was maybe the only thing I didn't like, was the fact that we know that Randy is somewhat intelligent, so it's just weird to put himself in a situation where he's that stupid. When he's not drunk. When he's not drunk. He's a geologist. He figured out how to get the water in the last new season. He figured out the water problem when, I'm just saying.
Streaming services.
Figured out the water problem in streaming service. So he's a smart guy when he wants to be. When he wants to be is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and we're not saying that smart guys aren't racist. honestly, if you think about it, the majority of smart guys are. Well, actually, you know what? Can you be smart and a racist? Can you be labeled a smart guy and a racist at the same time? And is that offensive to all smart guys?
I don't know. Let's ask Ben Shapiro. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of Suck My Balls.
Sick me, bitch.
I'm just kidding. I don't know if Ben Shapiro's racist. I've never met him in life.
I'm pretty sure he's
I'm
not.
not kidding. I'm not kidding. I think he's racist. At me. My name is Dane Becker. At me. I think he's a racist. At me.
You know what? Me too.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Boom. Who got my back?
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you checking out this week's edition of SMB, a South Park review. I, of course,
R.I.P. Joe. R.I.P.
Of course, your host, The Heat. I can't
We'll
be
miss
beat.
you.
I can't. He's not dead. I, of course, your host, The Heat.
Yes, you.
I can't be beat. Your guy who's high or the air is dry. Your boy, Matt Schaffer. Gage. Go ahead and follow us at the podcast everywhere. South Park Pod, Linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. South Park Pods on Twitter and South Park Podcast on Instagram. South Park Pod right here on YouTube. If you're watching, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and you'll be notified when more content like this drops. Scoop.
Fuck you, Joe. You would be out the episode. No, I'm just kidding. I love you.
Scoop. The digital marketing guy. What do you got to say before we run away?
Not a single thing, Matt. Another great episode. The next episode is going to be extremely important. And honestly, I'm excited for the season. And I hope as a viewer and as a listener, you are too. Ben Shapiro's a racist.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, shout out to our boy, the Doctor of Thugonomics, Punkonomics, Polyphonics, the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia Champion. He is a trivia god. Dirty Joe Vernolo. And you can check out PrimosProWrestling.net for all of your pro wrestling needs. You can go back and check out Devotion Championship Wrestling on Demand, where Joe Vernola helped produce and promote that event, where it featured WCW former creator, writer, Eric Bischoff. So back and check out Devotion Championship Wrestling on Fight. You can also check out PrimosProWrestling.net for Omega 9 next tournament. It's not all death matches in Denver, so go check out Omega 9. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you checking us out this week on another edition of Suck My Balls, a South Park review. We'll be back next week. What's coming up next week, Dane?
Oh gosh, guys, I couldn't do it. I was just too excited to talk about the next episode, which is Cartman Sucks, which honestly is a perfect name for any episode of this show. They could have put that on any single episode and it would have been perfectly fine, but they put it on one where Cartman does not just suck, he sucks. So we're going to find that out next week, Matt.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week. SMB, Suck My Balls. A South Park. We'll see you